This is Detective Matt Pitcher. It is January 24th, 2019. It is 12:08 p.m. I am with Captain Phelps, Assistant State Attorney Colleen Dunn,
Assistant Public Defender Kevin McCarthy.
John Travis Johnson.
Travis, you've previously been given your Miranda warning, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understood your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're willing to waive them and talk with us today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Travis, I talked to you on November 17th, 2017. Remember our conversation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're going to ask some questions just clarifying what you told me on November 17th, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you a photograph, and I'm going to put it up here so the little camera gets a picture of that. And then let's take a look at that and tell me how you know about this mask.
That is the mask that Rory Wilson came out of, or came from his apartment to the upstairs apartment with, that he was going to put on.
Okay, when is the first time that you have ever seen that mask?
Right before we departed
Okay, and departed meaning where were you getting ready to go?
to the treehouse.
Okay, and it was Rory Wilson that you saw wearing that mask?
Yes, ma'am.
After you saw Rory Wilson wearing that mask, did you ever see that mask again?
Only after I saw the photographs of it, after I
Okay.
recovered it.
So you saw him, he's going to the treehouse, he's wearing the mask, you never see the mask again until
No.
we show you photographs of the mask?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to show you another picture. Travis, this picture is a picture of what looks to be a black backpack. Tell me how you know about this black backpack.
That is the black backpack that I saw Tucker with in his hand. It was when I left the site. It was with him whenever he came into the apartment, and then it disappeared and ended up in my belongings on the 22nd of November, I believe, and that's when I panicked and threw it into the...
Okay, when you
air
say
conditioner
you
closet.
saw Travis when he left the site,
Tucker.
what are you talking about when you say leaving the site?
When we were at the treehouse, I noticed he had something in his hand when he was coming towards the truck, and I drove away and left him running with it. And then when he showed up at the apartment, he's had that.
He had that?
Yes.
Did he say anything about that backpack to you?
There wasn't very much conversation about it, no. It's just that he was looking through it, took out some cards, took out some things. I didn't really get a good look at them, but they were inside of it whenever I found it.
And when you were back at the apartment, which what we refer to as the warehouse, were you
Right.
upstairs
Yes.
in the area that you were staying in?
Yes, ma'am.
When you saw that backpack?
Yes, ma'am.
And the next time you saw the backpack was where?
In my trunk at the house that I'd moved to in Big Pine.
Okay, and by trunk, what do you mean by trunk?
It's a foot locker, about 2.5 by 3.5 by 18 inches deep. Foot locker like you would see, at any Marine store.
And before you went to that house in Big Pine, where did you have that foot locker?
That foot locker was stored upstairs in a closet. Right, I don't know if you're familiar where I was whenever
Yes.
you came in. I was sitting on it whenever you guys came in that second time.
Was that foot locker ever locked when it was in the?
No, I didn't have it locked.
So anybody would have had access to
Yes,
the
ma'am.
foot locker. So now you go to Big Pine, you open up the foot locker, and you see the backpack.
Yep. Says
Do you
knife at the top.
do you recognize it as the backpack that Ty had?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
What are your thoughts and feelings about finding that backpack now in your trunk?
I was, to say the least, sickened, panic-stricken, and felt like I was being set up.
Who did you think was trying to set you up?
Either one of them.
By either one of them, who do you mean?
Rory Wilson or Tucker.
And set you up for what?
Whatever it was that they did.
Okay.
Because by this time I knew that there was a murder involved. So
Travis, what did you do with the backpack when you found it in your trunk? What did you do with it?
I took it and I threw it in the air conditioner closet.
Talk to me about what made you do that.
You ever got something in your hands and just didn't want it in your hands anymore? And I found the closest thing I could to where I was at, and I opened the door and I just threw it in.
And
I
just
was
threw it
like,
in.
yeah, just threw it in, get it out of my
Okay.
sight, get it out of mind.
Okay. Knife? Travis, I'm going to show it again. I'm going to put this up in front of the camera so it gets a little view of that. Have you ever seen this knife in this photograph before?
Yes, ma'am.
Talk to me about that knife.
That knife was found in CJ's room. There was a dresser drawers left in there, and Tyrone found it in there. And that was the knife he had when we left.
When you left where?
The house went to the treehouse.
We went to the treehouse. So Tyrone had that knife.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you, other than being in the area where CJ stayed, have you ever seen them with that knife out and about prior to the night?
No.
Were you ever part of knife throwing things in the apartment where they would take knives and throw them at like the dartboard on the wall?
I did. I was throwing some of my knives.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had a rather extensive knife collection. So yes, I did do that.
Did you ever see Rory throw knives at the?
No.
What about Tyrone?
No.
Anybody else in the apartment ever throw knives at the wall?
No, it was just me.
Could people have thrown knives at the wall and you
Sure.
not been able to see it?
Sure.
Not be there when it happened?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
And this was the knife that you saw Tyrone leave the warehouse with when you went over to the treehouse?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever see that knife again after that night?
No.
Until today?
Till
Or until
right
you
now.
saw pictures of it?
Right, that's the first picture I've ever seen of it.
So today's the very first time you've seen that knife since
Yes, ma'am.
the night of the treehouse?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mr. McCarthy, do you have anything?
No, I have nothing.
Travis,
Oh, wait,
is there?
no,
Go ahead.
just to clarify, you have made these statements knowing that there's been no deal with the state attorney's office, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Then we haven't promised you anything in
No, ma'am.
exchange for saying anything? Okay.
Correct.
Now I'm going to ask you the big question. Do I now know everything you know
Yes,
about
ma'am.
what happened that night?
Yes, ma'am.
I now know everything, right, Travis?
Yes, ma'am.
We're not going to have any secrets, no surprises?
There's no secrets, there's no surprises.
Okay,
That's it.
okay. Thanks, Travis.
Yes, ma'am.